Hello everybody, AnonymousZao Gaming, and today we're going to do a review for an upcoming game on Steam that is currently in early access called Burstfire. This game is meant to be a direct competitor to the more tactical shooters such as Rainbow Six. So it's not going to be another arcade shooter like Call of Duty, not meant to be very fast paced. So I did want to discuss that right off the bat. When you buy the game and download it, you do have to go through like a third-party agreement while installing the game. So it is going to ask you to create a username, a password, and then you have to sign in, and it launches through this third party every time. It's very similar to if you were to play a lot of the free MMOs that are available on Steam at this time, such as Terra. While you can launch it through Steam, it's not directly managed through Steam. And my cat is trying to play with the green screen. Great. Alright, cut. So it's not going to be, directly launched to the game. You'll have to click launch off their little third-party thing. But it's super easy because it's linked directly to your Steam account. So you don't have to go to a website, register, go to your email, click the link, follow the link to finalize your registration, and then you can log in. You just create a username, create a password, hit OK, links it directly to Steam. So it's really easy to get started on there. Now right off the bat, there is some functionality to the game that's not available yet. Again, it's in early access. It just hit Steam, I believe about a week ago at this point. But it does have full setting controls for gameplay, so field of view, as well as a few of the bells and whistles like showing the nameplates, gore enabler, etc. Full video support, so resolution, it has a quality slider, brightness, you can limit the frame rates, DirectX 11 support, etc. Full audio, as you can see I have the music turned down because it's super loud. Controls, there are quite a few controls, so you can change like your fire rate for your weapons, using your tools, push to talk, etc. Because it is a very team focused game, so having push to talk is incredibly important, so that's a good call for them. And it does have language support. Right now it's just Spanish and English. When you first launch the game, I believe it actually asks you if you want Spanish or English for the primary. So that is available right now, and I'm sure they'll be adding more language support as the game progresses a little further in development. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the cam. We're going to jump into a game, and I'm just going to do voiceover of the game as we play it, so you guys can really get a feel of what the gameplay itself is like, because I know that's what everybody cares about. So we're going to jump right to it, so stick around. Find a match, or you can join and create squads, so if you have friends to play with, you'll click that. Obviously, we'll need to click find match. I don't have anybody playing with me. This is something that I am going to have to personally consider a con for this game, is they use like a server matchmake system. I don't like that. It takes forever, in my opinion. I dealt with it in Modern Warfare 2, and that's actually what made me completely stop playing the Call of Duty series. I hate matchmaking systems like that in these kinds of games. I understand them, but I don't like them at all. I would much rather have a server option. Somebody even dropped out of the queue here before we found 10 people. I did speed this section up. I think in total it was actually about 3 minutes before I was actually able to get into a game. So now we're loading the map Convention. I believe it's the only map that's currently available in the early access, so you're taken to this kind of pre-game screen. You can see everybody that's connecting in. Clearly it tells you what team you're on, it gives game tips, etc. Once all 10 people have fully connected, it will go to a finalization countdown from 5 seconds. That's when you know everything's about to get started, so it's going right now. So what it's going to do is take you to this like pre-fortification screen. So you'll pick which fortifications you want to use. You can see the mini-map on the right for the staging area, and then you can see what your team has selected on the left, so what each player on your team is going to use as far as their fortifications. So this first one, if I'm not mistaken, I take this ammo cache, and then I take trip mines, and you just click ready up. Now you're in the fortification screen. So at this point, your team gets a chance to set up their fortifications, so technically the game has not really started yet. This is like a pre-planning or pre-staging. The enemy team that's infiltrating, you'll see this little ball go by right here. That's like a little scouting device that they get to use to see where you're setting up your fortifications and where the intel that they're trying to take is located. So now they have found the intel. Right now it's just going to scout, where our fortifications are, where we're setting everything up, where they need to infiltrate from, safest route possible. So I'm just going to place my last trip mine in this doorway here and just try to block that off as much as possible. So now the fortification phase is over, we'll just call it that. So now we're in the actual loadout phase. You pick your grenades, your primary weapon, and then your sidearm. There's not a whole lot. I think it's 3 assault rifles, 2 shotguns, 1 sniper, and then 3 SMGs to choose from at this point. So there's a couple weapons, not a whole bunch, but again, it's still in early access. So I just take the Scar, one of my personal favorite weapons, and now the game is live. So at this point, I'm just going to walk out into this little catwalk. It's a good open area, gives me a lot of viewing angles. And then right here, actually, I'm going to immediately notice somebody's head pop around, and I'm going to hit him, but unfortunately, I'm not going to kill him. So that's going to alert everybody, and these dudes just bum rush us at the escalators. And I was actually pretty sure that I was probably going to die here. I was taking a lot of hits, but I ended up staying alive, and then I have to give a big thumbs up to the lean feature. I love games with lean features. Unfortunately, that guy next to me didn't know how to use it, so he died because of it. But this lean feature allows me to take pot shots while still staying behind the cover of the wall for the most part, revealing as little of my body as possible while still able to, lay the hate down with the Scar. So right now they only have 3 people alive. I'm going to take a couple more shots of this dude peeking around the corner. He's actually going to hit me in the face once or twice. Just glad I didn't die. But one of our guys flanked, and then I started hearing some noises behind me. It's pretty suspicious, and then this just kind of gave it all away with that explosion. So I immediately knew he's coming up for the flank. So we're going to go ahead and put a big fat W here. See if we can just drop that dude, and that's going to be game 1. So we're going to go ahead and go to this mission success or mission failure, depending on what happened. There's an all chat, so you can type a GG or fuck you, or whatever you want to put. All chat is available. It gives you your stats for the game, and then you have 2 options. You can either hit match make, or you can hit exit menu. I hit match make, so it puts you back in queue. I had to speed it up again. This one didn't take as long, but I think it still took me about a minute and a half. So we're going back to convention again. I think it's the only map that's even available in the early access. We're going to the pre-fortification or pre-loadout screen. Again, I'm on defending team. I tried to get on the attacking team. Unfortunately, you can't choose which side you're on. You're just automatically assigned. I played about 8 games, and each and every game I was always put on defenders. So I really tried to get some gameplay from the attacker side, but I just couldn't get it. I'm really sorry about that. I'll see if I can, keep playing it and get that. But we're back on the fortification screen. So instead of taking the ammo cache, I was thinking about taking the barricades. But I noticed that these are only actually usable for windows and doors. So instead I take this baller-looking fortress wall. And I'm kind of glad that I did end up picking this. So we're just going to click that hit ready up, get to our fortification planning phase. So this thing allows you to actually place it wherever you want, essentially, as long as it's a flat surface. And it's awesome. You can block off entire hallways like this. You can block off entire stairwells. As you can see, this entire doorway would be completely useless because we'd be defending it with this big bulletproof wall. But then nobody could get through it, good guy or bad guy. So instead what I'm going to do is try to set it up at a good angle here. That's going to allow myself and my team to still get a good field of view out of the little peephole there, but still supply us with enough cover. And then I'm just going to put some of these trip mines to check R6, because those seem to work out last time. So we're just going to go ahead and place that there. The enemy team found the intel, so they know where they need to be going. So now we're at the loadout phase. We're going to go ahead and pick our weapons here. Here you can see some of the iron sights or EOTech sights that you can put on your weapons. Turns out that was a shotgun. I didn't want to use it, so I just ended up picking the TAR because I love the TAR. And I'm actually going to put a sight on my pistol just for shits and gigs. But in this game, I actually do make a very large tactical error, which you guys will end up seeing very shortly. So I'm figuring everything's all good. I'm still new to these maps. I don't know where all the entry points are and what every floor looks like, every doorway that you can use. So I'm thinking they're probably going to come from a similar area that they came from last time. This seems to be the front of the building, most obvious that they would try to come through. Turns out it didn't really work that way. So I'm like a fly to a bright light. I hear shooting, and I immediately want to see what's going on. Turns out that was a really bad idea, because I end up getting just absolutely massacred. Turns out they came up from the stairwell right behind me. So instead of using that fortification that I put up, I decided to stand in the open like an idiot. But my team's over here picking up the slack. This dude just dropped some guy in the face with a scar. So they only have 2 players remaining. We still have 4. But this makes me happy. My team is using that fortification that I put up, and they're using it very effectively. This guy's taking cover behind it, shooting through it, not taking any damage. So that makes me feel like me putting that there could have helped the team win. And he actually ends up getting the game-winning kill from behind it. So that made me feel good. So mission success once again. Throw down another GG. And that is going to be the end of the in-game gameplay features at this time. Alright, so something that I like to do now is actually go to the game's web page and kind of take a look at their web page. I believe that going to a game's web page can actually give you a good idea of the company that's making the game. Kind of based off how their web page is. If it's a well-made web page, usually they've put a lot more effort into it to make sure that the appearance that they give this game is something professional, something that they're really working hard on. So immediately when you come to the home page, there they are. You can tell they have a Twitch, a Twitter, a Facebook, and a YouTube. So immediately they're already across all the major channels as far as trying to get their game out there. So immediately that tells me that they are, trying to make sure that they spread the word as much as possible. They're really trying to get everything out there to anybody that they can, instead of maybe just having like a Facebook or just having a YouTube channel, something like that. They're really trying to hit all platforms and catch as much attention as possible. So they do have a video right off the bat on their main page, kind of showing a lot of what's going to be in the game. So I'll leave up to you guys. You can always go to their webpage, burstfiregame.com. Check that out for yourself. They give a short about me and then a quick breakdown of the game features, which is something that I really look for. I'm actually going to go up here and click this, a far more in-depth look at the game features. So again, it is a 5v5 tactical shooter. So it's supposed to be a far more superior, I guess for a lack of better terms, as far as the tactics and having to kind of be patient a little bit with the game itself. Really trying to work with your team, then it's just one life, one round, a lot like any kind of competitive like CSGO match. You're dead, that's it. You just have to wait for the round to end. Play your own way, so there's no classes, there's no restrictions, nothing like that. You use whatever gun you want, use whatever equipment you want. That's it. There's no limitations to it. You play the game the way that you want to play it, or the way that you and your team want to play it. So that's always really nice. Fortify and destroy, you guys saw that, or enough of that in the gameplay. Pretty sure I don't really have to explain that. Something that I do want to point out, it has a red asterisk because it is not available in early access, but they are going to be adding a strategic map, so you can actually pre-plan a strategy with your team, which I think is good. Not everybody has microphones, not everybody uses microphones, and instead of trying to type out your plan in chat while the game is going on, you can just do the pre-plan with the strategic map, and that way everybody on your team already knows what they're doing. I think that's going to be a really cool feature, and I really can't wait for them to implement that into early access or the beta whenever they release a full-blown beta. I think that's going to be something that kind of separates this game from a lot of other games that call themselves tactical sim games or tactical shooters. Just it gives that little extra element of realism to the game, and I really do like that. Again, they do have VoIP, so if you do enjoy using your microphone or you're with a bunch of buddies, obviously that's going to be an option. You don't have to worry about trying to use TeamSpeak or Skype or Raid Call or any of that stuff. Customizations, again, that's not in the early access, but you will be able to customize characters and weapon skins once they implement those features into the game. So you can always make yourself stand out a little bit, or kind of separate yourself from the crowd so that not everybody looks the same. Not everybody's drones. But one thing that I do want to point out that they don't put there is this right here. Pay once, play forever. I have to applaud the studio for doing this, because in the current market and the current way that developers are making and releasing their games, absolutely pisses me off to no end. I hate the fact that you have to pay full price for a game, so $50, $60, whatever it is, and then on top of that, you don't actually get the whole game. You get usually about maybe 80% of the game. The other 20% is given to you in, quote, DLC. I don't like that. I think, pardon my French, but I think that's a bullshit tactic that game developers and studios and publishers are using now. It's complete crap. It really is. You're going to pay $60 for a game, and then you're going to tell me that I have to spend another $40 or $50 to get the rest of it? I don't agree with that. I remember the days where you bought a game, you paid $50 for a game. At that time, $50 was the most expensive you paid for a game, unless you got some insane like limited collector's edition or director's edition of a game, something like that, and it came with cool little figurines or whatever. It came in a special case. $50 used to be how much a AAA title cost. Now for a normal AAA title, you're paying $80, $90, $100, $120 for the entire game. I don't like that. That's stupid. That's an absolutely dumb way. You're basically paying for the game twice for the same game. Absolutely dumb. So this one, there's no paid DLC. It's free updates. If they make a new map, that is given to the entire community. It's a download. It's an update. That's the way it used to be, and that's the way it should be. I shouldn't have to pay twice for my game. And not only that, but it divides your gaming community for your game. Because you're going to have the people that pay for the game. Alright? They, maybe they don't have a well-paying job, or they have an allowance or something. They don't have a job. They just go to school. How are you going to expect them to pay $40, $50, $60 for a game, and then expect them to pay another $50 or $60 for the rest of the game? Because, their friends got all the DLCs and the premium statuses or elite statuses, paid for all of that. Maybe their parents got it for them, or maybe they saved up their allowance, or they have a job, something like that, and they were able to afford it, but you can't. Well, now you're stuck on the base maps or vanilla maps, whatever you want to call them, and everybody else is having fun on all the new stuff that just came out. Not only that, but a lot of the servers, if it's based off servers, a lot of the servers are going to want to run the new stuff, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants the new maps, the new features, the new this, new that, new vehicles only to this map. They all want to play that. Now you're stuck on the base game with nothing to do, because now all your friends just want to play the new stuff, but you can't afford it. So you're forced to go into servers that are vanilla only servers. Your friends aren't going to want it. And to me, that ruins the game. That ruins the experience for people. People don't want to pay for their game twice to stay playing with their friends. They want to pay for it once, and they want to be done with it. I'm so sick and tired of the way that gaming companies are doing this whole DLC thing. Because that shit was probably done way before they even released the game. And they're just holding on to all of this, and they're like, nah, we'll put that in a DLC. We'll put that feature in a DLC, or those weapons, or that map. We'll put that in a DLC for $15 and make them buy it. Absolutely dumb. So I have to give Burstfire a round of applause for doing this. And I hope that they stick to this model. I hope they don't switch it up later. I really do. Because to me, that's the sign of a studio and a publisher that cares about its community and the people that are playing its game. They understand that the people want to pay for the game, they want to play it with their friends. They don't want to be divided by who bought the premium status and who just bought the base game. Oh, you bought the premium status? Alright, here, you get all the cool stuff, while the people that didn't buy the premium status, you're stuck with the scraps at the bottom. Have fun. You didn't spend $120 to play our game, so get out of here. So I have to applaud them for doing that, and I really do hope that they stick to that. They do have forums here, so think tank, if you have an idea, feel free to share it with them. General discussions, clan hubs for anybody that's looking to join a clan or has a clan that's currently recruiting, media hub. So they have this forum that's relatively active. Obviously, again, it's not a big game. It's not like a AAA title that's getting all this attention and et cetera, so it's not this exploding forum with thousands of topics being created every single week. But it is a fairly active forum for being a very small, independent, quote, type of game that's not being backed by, EA or Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, whatever. So that's always a good sign. Their forums are still active even though it's not this massive game yet. And then of course they have their media page with screenshots, concept art, whatever else they might be adding in the future. And a lot of these screenshots are actually going to be in the video as well while I give my final wrap-up thoughts. But this is just something that I enjoy doing. Going to the web page can really give you an idea of how much effort they're really putting into this. If they bought like a free webs template and they just threw some pictures in there and have a forum section and that's it, we're done, enjoy the website, have fun, whatever. But yeah, they have a nice clean website, easy to navigate, tells you everything you want to know about the game right up front. So that's always a really good sign. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys the website so you guys can get an idea of that as well. Alright guys, so I know this is a little bit of a long one, but this is going to wrap up the video at this point. I just want to go back over some key points as far as pros and cons from everything that I've experienced so far while playing the early access of the game. It does have a lot of features. It does have full graphics control support, audio support, game support, DirectX 11. So that it is very robust as far as what you can do with the graphics options and being able to tone down the game. As far as gameplay goes, I have to give a con to the whole matchmaking system. I'm not a fan of that style. Maybe other people don't mind it. Maybe they'll add a server support option possibly. That would be really nice. So I have to give it a con on that one. But so far, as far as the gameplay itself, I haven't run into any nasty game-breaking bugs or anything that I've found to be incredibly unfair or overpowered or anything of that nature. It seems to have decent balance at this point. Obviously there's only one map, so we can't truly tell, and only a few weapons available. The lean feature, I really like being able to lean. Everything just feels pretty solid, pretty fluid, and right now it is pretty cheap on Steam for the early access. So I mean, if you guys like what you saw, or maybe you want to see some more, go ahead and check it out on Steam, pick it up in the early access, help support these guys, get this game going, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video. Appreciate it.